Coach Sneed with the
Super.
$1.99 super chat for Big Lou. He says, Big Blue Lou and Pat, the Diamond Duo. You're doggone right, boy.
Hey, thank you for that $2 super chat, my brother. I greatly appreciate it. Hit that
Appreciate you.
subscribe button, bro. That helps me out immensely.
Ghost Dog, he says, I think it's good that Slayton came back. Mosley thinks it's good that he came back as well. Matthew Christopher, he says the 49ers receiver 4 just signed a contract that'll pay him more than Slayton. Yes, Jennings did just sign a contract that pays him more than Slayton. So I cannot blame Slayton for believing that he deserves more money. I mean, that's just a fact, man. For his productivity, he should be in the $11 million to $15 million a year range. Hell, Jerry Jeudy got $18 to $19 million a year, and he's putting up the same stats as Jerry Jeudy. So I don't blame him. Hopefully, he does get his money. Let's see. Iman, he says, yes, we need Slayton. Need a veteran that knows the system until the rookies can grasp it. That is very true. Ghost Dog, he says, time to show out, show your veteran experience, and earn that paycheck. I think he has, man. To be honest with you, I think he has earned this paycheck. Hey, Matthew Christopher, he says, but Daniel Jones potentially having neighbors, Slayton, Hyatt, Wandale as the top 4 should be a great for whoever will be the starting quarterback. True. Emmanuel Perry, what's going on? He says, oh, I'm here. Let's get it. From Twitter. Crowd favorite. He says Slay is useful. He should have a good season, so he will get his money one way or another. I do believe he will get his money. It just won't be with us. He said, Jennings got paid more than Slayton. Patton Drive Jigger 31. He says comeback player of the year from DJ. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button for us. Appreciate you. Give him 10 mil. He's going to want more than that. Oh, my goodness. Coach Dave says Slayton deserves his money, but the fact of the matter is Hyatt needs to get as many reps as possible. Shane has to hit on these draft picks. That is true. They said they signed him and not Brandon Ayuk. Well, Ayuk's deal is not going to be determined by how much money Jennings is making. Ayuk probably would have a deal with the 49ers, but he's looking for $30 million a year. And I don't know if he's worth $30 million a year. I don't know. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Wales, what's good, my brother? Tim Frith. He says, should Giant right. So the Giants name Jones their starting QB. He is the starting QB.
They didn't have to
name Lock his backup and cut DeVito on their practice squad for the upcoming season. I think they will keep three QBs.
They didn't have to name him that. Everybody knew that Drew Lock wasn't going to be that boy.
Right. I don't understand what people think.
That's why they've been bitching that DJ's still here, because even the haters deep down knew that Drew Lock wasn't going to be that man for the job.
Facts.
Even coming back from injury.
Tim, again, he says, should the Giants trade 2025 second and third rounders and 26 second and fourth rounders to Niners for Run, CMC, and Ayuk? That would never happen.
They just got rid of Barkley. They're not about to sign Christian McCaffrey. Timothy?
Right. On, Timothy always coming up with the craziness. He says, no, DeVito is good. Keep him. They will keep DeVito. I think they keep 3 quarterbacks this season.
Timothy, stay off the mannequin, Timothy.
Right. Stay off the mannequin, sir. But, Coach, you there? What's going on, Coach?
I'm here. I'm just, fighting through and just, jumping on a couple of streams for Jeff and stuff. So, talking to our reminders, because this is the anniversary. So,
yeah, the anniversary of a fellow Big Blue member, Jeffy T. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Man, it was
that's my point.
Right. Sad day.
Shout out to Jeffy, man.
Yeah.
It's not a sad day. Always remember one thing, though. It should be a celebration because of so much that he's done in this community. And, I know he helped me a lot. He really did. So, it's sad that he's not here, but, he touched us in so many different ways. But that, what? And I mean, just hearing the people and how he impacted them. I know he's impacted you guys and you guys impacted him. So it's a celebration more.
I'm gonna try to go chop up the live where we talked him into doing content because he just used to come
Hmm.
on
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and we was like, bro, you need to start doing videos. He was like, I don't know, We're like, man, do the videos, bro. I'm
Hmm.
telling you, you got the personality for it, the voice for it.
Hmm.
And then he started grinding, man. He started knocking out them
Hmm.
shorts more than anything. That dude was
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I miss calling the games with him. You used to
Hmm.
give us the stats and everything, man.
halftime. Yeah,
Yeah, and his laugh
Uh,
was hilarious too.
Nah, the
Like,
thing I miss the most is you could be just chilling in the stream for a second and he's in the background. All of a sudden, he's something and just start yelling and screaming.
mm-hmm.
sporadic.
Just
Yeah.
started
Or he
just going
watching the game
crazy
along with us.
laughing.
There's something going on. He's going
Mm-hmm.
all the way. So, yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I celebrate, man.
I called him
Yeah.
the kid from the Wild Thornberries.
Right. Right.
NYG always said, he's the reporter though, because
Mm-hmm.
like you said, he get the stats, everything, and he's well versed. No information didn't matter the sport, hockey, baseball, football, basketball, whatever teams, he knew it inside and out.
It was him that said, "Back to you, Pat."
Yep.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
the one that started it.
yeah. I remember y'all telling me that. So
Yep.
yeah,
Man, miss
so
old Jeffy T,
I'm
man.
I'm good. I'm good most of all. So just it, you know what? Coach is coach. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm having a coach day, so but I'm all right.
Yeah, yeah, Coach Day. Okay.
Yeah. I'm having
Uh,
a coaching day, so But I mean,
yep.
I'm fighting through. So you see, I'm here.
Yep. Jeffy T will always be remembered, never forgotten, man. Miss him, man. Black and White Giants talk. Thank you for tuning in. What's good, brother? Hope everything is going well with you. Well, Coach, we was Mac. What's going on, Mac?
Good
We was
stream,
just
Mac.
Yeah, we was just talking about Darius Slayton and Jalen Hyatt. I want to get your opinion on this. Do you think the New York Giants should go ahead and just give Hyatt the more reps over Slayton? Because maybe with Slayton trying to hold out to get his contract and he had to show up without having any contract, maybe this might be the last year for Slayton as a Giant. Who knows? But should we elevate Hyatt now, or should
I'm
we try to develop him a little bit more? Me personally, I don't think he's ready. But what do you think, Coach?
Here's how I would approach it. First and foremost, is Hyatt ready? Did he earn the reps? That's the first thing. Yeah. There you go. That's right. That's right. R.I.P. But you know what? Slayton is a veteran guy. He's been around for a minute. So, and don't forget, this is all voluntary. I get it. They try to get everyone in, but it's still voluntary. So, he knows what he needs to do to get himself ready, on the field, in the meeting room, so on and so forth. Hyatt still, this is his second year. Yeah, second year. So he gotta earn the reps, man. He in the end he has to earn. I'm not giving you anything, and as an athlete, I don't want you to give me anything. I want to earn it. So if I deserve it, then it's going to be mine. But if I didn't earn it, then let me come in and compete and take it away. Now on the flip side, if Slayton is not there and Hyatt comes in and earns the reps, and then Slayton comes in, but Hyatt has met him and is equal to him or maybe exceeds him, then Slayton, you drop the ball. You
Yo,
let
Black and
someone
White,
come in
hit
and
that
take your
subscribe button for G Nation, son. Don't be a ninja watcher. You heard? Appreciate it. Sorry,
if
Pat.
you
I'll
let
go.
someone come in and take your position, then I get
You saw.
contracts. I get it. I get all that, and I understand the business. So there's that fine line, but you also understand you want that money and you got a young cat right behind you and he can come in and take that spot. Do you want to give him the opportunity to take that spot from you as a competitor?
Can he
No.
come? Can he come in and take that spot? See, that's the
That's
difference.
the issue.
If
That's what
I
I'm
if
saying.
I
I
have
don't think he can.
if I have that position and I know that they drafted a younger
Hmm.
player in my same position spot, I'm gonna go extra hard to make sure that every practice I'm doing something outstanding. So they like, yeah, We drafted old boy, but he still ain't Lou.
Right.
You know what
That's
I'm
what you
saying?
have to do.
So that's the mentality that these players have to have. Okay, yeah, sure, we got 6 receivers, 7 receivers, but ain't none of them better than me. Watch this. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's how you got to go out there. Because if not, then you just wasting time and you're gonna be a camp body.
Exactly, and that's the thing with Slayton. I mean, you know that they are bringing in receivers, and I understand being confident. I get it, but in the same token, look at what they did to you last year. Look at the money. The money talks. The money talks in the
Mhm.
end. You want that contract, okay? But realistically, your contract says your value to the team, so you got to go in and put in that work. So Jalen Hyatt
Ooh, say
is a
that
young
again,
kid.
coach.
I'm sorry.
Your contract. Say that again. Your contract. What? Say that for these dummies that don't understand
Your
sometimes.
contract says your value to the organization.
Ooh.
But that's the business of any pro sports. I mean,
But that,
the
listen,
thing
that's
is,
the same
players.
reason that I
I'm sorry.
told these people a year ago. Listen, we're not drafting a quarterback. DJ's here. They just paid that man 160 mil. The math dictates he's your quarterback.
Hmm.
That's a
And
fact.
that's what
Your
that's
contract dictates your value to the team. And if they gave him 160 million, they value him at the quarterback position.
and Slayton with his his contract that it is right now, and they just picked up that contract. Excuse me. They just picked up the contract because they could have not picked up the contract and he'd be a free agent.
Yep.
So, and then if you have a good art agent, your agent is
You feel me?
scouring the league to see what your market value really is. So you know what other
Facts.
teams think of you also. So and I'm not mad at Slayton for trying to get his money. I mean, every person
No,
wants to get as much money as they can. So
he ain't even
but
asking
I
for more
also
than he
understand.
deserves.
No, exactly. But I also understand. Look, you're on a 1 year deal. Maybe it might be a little bit better to come into camp
Yeah.
and prove and continue to prove your worth. You know what you are, but they right now are apprehensive as far as management. So you got to come in and secure that bag. So come in and put Hyatt to shame. If to be honest with you, and don't
It's
forget,
similar.
you just drafted a number one overall receiver. So the pecking order changes and it's going to move down. And
It's
then on the other factor is you were not drafted by them. So,
right.
that always has to stay
And
in
now
the back of
they're
your
back.
head no matter
Right.
what.
And it's
Hyatt
similar
was.
to when OC Manura was holding out and we had just acquired JPP.
Hmm.
And JPP was balling. OC was like, yeah, the hell with the holdout. This man gonna take my
Exactly.
job. Let me get in
Exactly.
and get the camp.
So there's always that fine line with athletes. I get it. I respect it. But I also say, you know what? You have to understand and look at, like Pat always says, look at the full scope of things, man. You're smart.
Got
You
to,
know what
man.
this business is. And if you're not there, somebody's going to be filling in to take that spot. So guess what that means? Hyatt has the opportunity. And if he does take that spot, then you're giving them the opportunity to say, well, we don't need to resign him either. That's another factor. If he shows out, well, we don't have to. We just play your contract out, and then after the year, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, let me
So,
Man,
get
so long. Thank you for stopping by. Tony, I'm at Squad. Thank you for stopping by, bro. You guys make sure you hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up button for all the content creators here. Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports. Obviously, Big Pat Sports Talk. And myself, G Nation Inside Sports. If there's a mod in the chat, please put our links there so that the people who have not subscribed can do so, please. But thank you guys for stopping by.
Matthew. He says if Waller retires, what should we do with that extra money? We're gonna get to that right after the Slayton conversation. Matt Customs, thank you for tuning in. He says we need to keep Slayton. Hyatt ain't ready, man. I truly believe that as well. He says Slayton's biggest mistake was not taking that Atlanta deal. I think he did the right thing because he's going to be right back on the market again, and he'd be able to get a bigger contract before he's 30.
There's no
Joe,
stability in Atlanta. His best place to put some plays on tape is here. He has familiarity with the quarterback and the system.
exactly. Um, how can you invest so much time into a flipping 500 team? Well, you got to
You a
invest
fan,
in your
you a
team.
fan.
Yeah.
When you a fan, you a fan. Look how many years Cleveland Browns fans been fans. How many Super
Look how
Bowls?
many years. Yeah, look how many years Lions been fans. How many Super Bowls they got? How many years the Vikings been fans? Like how many Super Bowls they got?
And
Average beast. Go
this
ahead.
time that I'm investing is to the community that we building. We're building a
Right.
strong community here of like-minded men and Giants fans. So I'm investing time into my brothers who come and tune in, my brothers who do the time, take the time to make the videos with us and edit and do all the other stuff in the background and travel. You know, we building a community here. So that's what I'm dedicating my time to.
Average beast. He says Slayton wants more money than he should want to finally play with the receiver one and have a career year. Because if it a career year, because if he has it, and he'll get that bag. Basically, what he's saying. Tommy, what's going on, Tommy? Back to you, bro. Health and wealth to you as well, bro.
Likewise, my brother.
But we're gonna get back to that Matthew Christopher question. This is another subject that's kind of weird with the New York Giants. Hopefully, this gets resolved before training camp. But
There's drug on too
Darren
long.
Waller, is he going to retire, or is he going to come back? Should the Giants want him back?
Playing sports or from doing drugs? Which retire from what? Which one are we
Hey,
talking?
listen, I'm not going to go about this drug habit and everything because everybody, they have their vices, man.
I'm not judging them. I'm asking, what are we talking about? Literally, I'm not being funny. Are we talking about him retiring from the game? Or are we talking about him cleaning up his act, considering he's going through a divorce and everything else? I mean,
I'm not going to put that moniker on him because I don't want that to happen to him. He fought so hard to get off the substances.
I don't know nobody, but there is a video out there floating around where he's looking kind of crazy.
I haven't seen that video, and I don't want to see it. Hopefully he has his mindset right, and hopefully he lets the Giants know what he's going to do here soon. Because I do know if he does come back, and if he is Darren Waller, he could be a valuable weapon to this offense to go with.
I wish him the best. I don't wish no ill will on nobody. So I hope he makes it through whatever he's battling through, in God's favor. So I don't want it to come off like I'm cheering for the guy to fail. I never wish bad on nobody.
Yeah, man. He my crazy. What's up, Ryan Davis? Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, it is that divorce. Vinny, what's going on, Vinny G? Appreciate you coming back in. Hope all is well with you, bro. Iman says, man, F Darren Waller. I want to see more Theo Johnson. Let's move on with the youth. Yeah, I mean, but
divorce ain't no joke.
Yeah, divorce is something serious, man. Shania, or EI.
Hey, Shania Effects, what's good?
Right up. What's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Tommy, he says Waller is definitely a problem, not a productive player on the field. He has held himself back with not keeping his professional life at top priority. It shows last year, all the drops, the injuries. He was actually leading the league as far as tight end yardage in the beginning of the season until everybody started getting hurt, and he got hurt. Josh E, what's going on? He says there's a video floating around. I guess so, Lou. Said there's a video floating around. So, like I said, just praying for him. Hopefully, he can get his mind straight if it's not straight as of now.
Hey, listen, having just gone through a divorce, that shit is not no cakewalk, especially when there's children involved, and it's very hard. It's very hard on the man, mainly because most of the time we get drugged through the ringer. But I just hope he can pull it together, stay disciplined, stay focused, and do his best for him, his mental health, and his life. And if he's still a part of this team, do his best for this team. But
praying for Joe Long too. He just said he had a freaking Black Widow spider climb up on his pillow. Jeez, Lord have mercy, man. Vicious.
Facts, E-Man Perry. Shit.
Man, you better hope that thing gone, Joe Long. Smashing it between the pillows, man. Man, you better hope that thing gone, long gone.
What's going on?
Yeah, I ain't seen you in a minute, NV. What's good? Nimmer, what's going on, Nimmer?
Neymar.
He
What's
says
up,
Waller
man?
and his wife was only together a year. Hey, Tommy, I understand that, but divorce is divorce, brother.
You still get your financials, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yee.
Yeah, that would have scared the hell out of me too, Joe Long. Shit. Got me looking damn Black Widow. Get bit by one of them. Better get to the ER quickly. Quickly.
Unless it's Iggy Azalea.
Yeah. But what do you think about the Darren Waller situation, coach, if you're still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you think about that situation?
As far as the organization, I think they're going to give it a chance to see what happens and see if his mind is right. Yeah, do they have to talk with him? I think that's going to be the first thing to make sure that his mind is right. Because if his mind is not right, then you need to do what you need to do, to move on. Now, they've done a good job in preparing themselves, through the draft, just to cover themselves in case of anything. But if Waller comes back and he was what we were hoping he was last year, then it's a great asset. But if not, if he's not ready, they position themselves well to go ahead and move on from him. So, and that's right now. I'm of the mindset of at least trying to see what you can get or where his head is at first and foremost. If you find out where his head is at or you have any inclination, then you make a decision from there. And if you need to move on, you move on.
Facts. I think the drafting of Theo Johnson does say a lot. Hey, thank you, Wells, for putting uh our channels in the chat. Mark Stewart, what's going on? Appreciate you, long member of talking to his talk with Big Pat Sports Talk. Appreciate you coming in. But yeah, coach, I truly believe that they have moved on from Darren Waller. Even though I think we got Theo Johnson won in the fourth round, I believe so.
Yeah, I think it was the fourth round.
It's not a huge investment into a tight end,
Mm-hmm.
but I have moved on. I'm not going to say the organization has moved on. I have moved on from Waller like he's not going to be on this team. But for them to give Waller so much time to decide what he's going to do, they must have a major plan for Darren Waller if he does return.
He was supposed to be an intricate part of this offense.
Yeah, he was.
But I look at it like this. In my opinion, I think Bellinger was a good draft pick. Had he not got Judy chopped in the eye, we would have been able to see a lot more of him. Unfortunately, what happened. He had to take that time off the heel and all that stuff, and then other people had to fill the void. But I believe whether Darren Waller is back or not, whether it's Theo Johnson or Darren Waller, I think Daniel Bellinger is going to have a sneaky good season. While everybody's paying attention to everybody else, he's going to be getting off. Pause.
Yeah, every time we throw it to Waller, something, I mean, not Waller, but Bellinger, something good happens. I'm not going to lie to you. It's usually we get a first down or something happens that's pretty good. And I do believe Bellinger could be more of a receiving threat than people give him credit for. Being honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Average Beast, this is a good thing here. He says Joe Shane is being extra patient with Waller, not only because of his personal issues, but Shane hasn't shown he'd move on from anyone he made a major investment in my opinion.
Okay.
That may be pretty true.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the people he's moved on from were Gettleman draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't think of anybody that he's taken that he's moved on with quickly. I haven't seen one. You're right.
Hey, Jeffrey T, hit this spliff right here. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Right. Deception. He says Theo Johnson looks like the stereotype tight end you would make in the Madden creative player. Right. Belly for 1,000 yards. If that happens, we are torturing people if he gets 1,000 yards. I tell you that now. Mondo Line close. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button for us. Appreciate you tuning in.
Let's go,
First
Mondo.
time
That's my
seeing
Google
you.
name.
He said we should let him go and use that 6 million. Theo Johnson. Does anyone know where OJ Howard is? No. OJ Howard has disappeared and he's not coming back. Bellinger might be the Giants fullback moving forward with all the tight ends they signed / drafted this offseason. I could
No,
talk about
Theo
that.
got
If they
earned
do
that
that,
spot.
I think that's a horrible move. And if they do that, Bellinger should ask for a trade.
Yeah, Theo got to earn that spot. He ain't
Yeah.
did nothing to take that spot from Bellinger.
Yeah, if they try to make Bellinger the fullback, I would ask to be traded if I was Daniel Bellinger.
I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people might not like this opinion. I don't think Theo Johnson is better than Bellinger.
As far as an overall tight end, no. He can't block as good as Bellinger, and Bellinger just has that knack for getting open in the middle of the field and getting the first down. I think he's more athletic than Bellinger, and he has a more of a big play potential than Bellinger, and that's what a lot of people get it twisted. Coach, you might be able to elaborate on this. A lot of people want to base everything off explosive play or home run play, and the guys that really just move the chains are no longer appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand that. I don't understand not appreciating the power backs, not appreciating the fullback, not appreciating the tight end. He might not run a 4.4, but he could catch the ball and get those hard earn yards. Do y'all guys remember a Mark Bavaro,
What?
Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Boss,
Mm-hmm.
people
Jeremy
like that?
Shockey.
Yeah,
Look,
I mean,
Pat.
Shockey was Martellus Bennett. What's going on, Leaf Dickey? Go ahead, Coach. I know you're getting ready to say something.
Hold
The
up. Prince
thing,
Castro says Jalen Hyatt feels disrespected and rightfully so. Why do he feel disrespected?
No, that's a lot of people. That's fans talking. Jalen Hyatt is out there learning. He's
I'm
doing
like,
just fine.
he disrespected the
Yeah.
field a few times. Shit.
here's the thing to your question, Pat. It's because we live in a day and age of fantasy football first and foremost, because you have a lot of casual fans who are involved now and they want those explosive plays. I mean, my understanding with fantasy football that you're rewarded for explosive plays and you get your highlights off of that. But a conventional person like us who understands moving the chains means you get another set of downs. You're eating a clock on the game. There's so much more you're doing when you play like that. You help your defense. You allow your defense to get rest. Most people don't realize an explosive play. If you go out there, your defense does whatever, and they just come off the field, and then 2 plays later you score a touchdown. Your defense is back out. You can run into situations where guys may be tired, so it's a double-edged sword. Are explosive plays good? Yes. Do they energize a fan base? Yes. Do they energize a team? Yes. But the flip side is, what does it do to hurt your team also? Now, I'm not saying don't go for explosive plays, but understand, if you're moving the chains, if you have a tight end who's going and doing a sit route at the sticks, he's running the sticks route and getting the first down and you getting another set, but then you want to go for the touchdown, that's what you want. What is the game plan called for? And the game is also 4 quarters. So if they're doing that early, sometimes they may be setting up something later in the game when the opposing team's defense is tired. That's when your explosive plays become more effective as opposed to early in the game. So, I look at, like I said, you all know, I look at the big picture. I look at the totality. I don't look at just the little things. What is the game plan? What is the chess match? It's not, to me, it's not about the players alone. It's about the coaches. It's about the strategy. It's about, what are you doing? What are you trying to do when you're out there on the field? Go ahead, Pat. You
Yeah,
got it.
that's a fact, man. It's well, let me get a couple. What's going on, Craig? Thank you for tuning in. He says, and I'm ordered to under the faults of the Giants. I watch highlights of the Eagles, and every play Hurts had 4 to 5 seconds to throw the ball. In contrast, Daniel Jones maybe 2. O-line get it together. That's a fact. Uh, Patton, he says Bellinger rookie campaign showed flashes of a potential modern day Jeremy Shockey before the eye incident. That is very true. Not to Jeremy Shockey level, but he was showing that he could be productive. I ain't gonna lie. Bellinger could have been productive like Jake Ballard in 2011 if we had 3 legit receivers. Now we have that. Facts. Yeah, Jake Ballard was very good. But yeah, it's just, Coach, people don't appreciate the glue guys, man. People believe that that's why I say this. People truly believe that this is Madden NFL football where everybody's rated at 99. It's not like that, bro. You want to know how many potential superstars this team actually needs to be superstars? We're gonna need Malik Neighbors to be a superstar. What's going on, Dash? If you want to come in the chat, let me know in the chat, and I'll put the link there, and I'll let you through. We're gonna need Malik Neighbors to be a superstar. We're gonna need Andrew Thomas to be a superstar. We're gonna need Thibodeau, Lawrence, and Burns to be superstars because I believe the defense goes as those 3 go as far as getting pressure. And we may need Tyler Nubin to be a superstar. And we may need Deonte Banks to be a superstar.
Ooh, shit. I just stepped the wrong way. No.
So those are the guys that I truly believe will have to play at an elite level for this team to get to where they want to be. You don't need elite people across a whole team because there's not many teams that there were elite players across the whole team. Maybe the 49ers back in the day.
I thought my mic was muted. Sorry, Pat.
Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and those boys, the Dwight Clark, Roger Craig, all the Ronnie Lotz, Eric Davis, all those guys were on one team. Ken Norton Jr., Haley. You don't get too many teams that were built like that. You see what I'm saying? Like the Cowboys, maybe. When they had Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, the best offensive line I believe ever assembled. They had Deion Sanders, Darren Woodson. They had Ken Norton Jr. and Haley at one point. Man, they had so many people on that team. Normally, you don't get all Madden teams like that. You know what I'm saying? You have certain players that are counted on to be the superstars, but your role players are counted on so much, and nobody understands the role players. That's why you get the disrespect for people like Darius Slayton. You get the disrespect for people like Bellinger, the disrespect for people like a Devin Singletary that a lot of people are disrespecting right now. Get the disrespect for people like Cordell Flott, or disrespect for people like Dane Belton or Azeez Ojulari or DJ Davison. People have roles, man. And I don't know, man. That's just something I don't know how to put it. I can't stand it because I know what teams are built. Like a team is a team for a reason. You have role players for a reason. And if they don't do their job, guess what? All those superstars, it don't matter. Yeah, they may be able to win you a game or 2, but without those role players doing their job, most of the time they're going to lose. But people don't seem to not understand that, and maybe that's why I'm different from a lot of people.
Is that the Earl Cole that used to call the wrestling with Jeffy and Mac?
Yeah, that's Earl.
What up, Earl?
What's going on, Earl? Afghanistan. Welcome back, man. Ain't seen you in a minute, bro. But go ahead, Lou.
Oh no, I was just saying what's up to Earl.
And you said the Niners paid for those great players, and they still do. That's okay.
Yeah, but they also had a foundation in place. They draft well. You know, they draft guys, develop the guys up. So by the time these guys start to retire or take deals elsewhere, you have the next man in-house. You're not depending on drafting on the rookie and the rookie impact making an impact season 1. You're bringing these guys in, you're developing them for 2, 3 seasons, and by the time these guys roll out, you got your team stepping up and taking the position, and then you develop, draft another young player and develop them. That is the best way to build your team.
Facts. And a lot of
Mhm.
people believe NYT, thank you for tuning in. You said they also drafted a lot of them too. Yes, we do have to get better at drafting.
Yes.
Um, here's a question I'm gonna leave you guys with, Coach and Lou, and maybe you can talk to the chat a little bit. What do you think of Joe Shane's drafting so far? He's had what, 3 drafts so far? What do you
No,
guys think of his drafts?
he ain't had three. He had two.
Mhm. He has 3.
He's has 3.
This is his 3rd draft. He had the KT and Evan Neal, and then Banks last year, and then what you
Mm-hmm.
call this year?
Oh, he
This is his
did
3rd
draft
draft.
Darius Tony, didn't he?
No,
No.
he didn't draft
No,
Kadarius
no,
Toney.
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Oh, you said KT. I was like, what the fuck?
No, Tony. I don't consider Tony KT. I consider Kayvon Thibodeau KT. So
Mm-hmm.
that if you hear me say it, that's who I refer to as KD. It's not that other dude who whatever.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
considering the positions that he drafted at, you can't really tell for at least 2 years, sometimes three. So
mhm.
it's kind of remains to be seen yet. But I mean, now with the wide receiver this year, we need to see. And with Daniel Jones, we need to see for him to re-sign him and commit to him. DJ's got to step up this year. He don't got Saquon no more to count on. It's all on him
Mhm.
and these playmakers. So Dable has to scheme up these guys because I believe he took over the play calling for the season. Um, and he's gonna have to put these guys in the best position for them to make plays, and they're gonna have to make plays because we got a lot of young guys on this team.
Yeah. And to
What
cut,
I think about the draft that he's done, it's still a work in progress.
I'll
But
be right back,
um,
fellas.
yeah, I know everyone's questioning Evan Neal, and I get it. But look at Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, you go down the list and you look at all the draft picks that we have, and they're still here. And allude to what you just said, it's still a young team. It's still learning. They have to learn how to play together. They have to learn how to win. So it's still a work in progress. Now, should we see more from the guys who are in their 3rd year? Of course. But it's still a work in progress, and there's still talent there. I mean, it's not like you can just get rid of them after 2 3 years. And sometimes that's what I think that's what it feels like for me with some fans. You're ready to move on from young talented players, where in my years of experience of watching these Giants since the late 1970s, and I know it's a different time and era, but sometimes it takes guys 4 years to 5 years to get acclimated. Now, a lot of us don't have the patience. I get it,
Well, a
but
lot of us don't have the patience because it's been 11 years of losing.
yes,
So after
exactly,
that, your patience gets thin. But I understand
exactly.
because we old school, we understand that you have to develop these players, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it takes time, and we understand that. But at the same time, now all the excuses have been used up too, and
Yes.
to Dash's point, I agree. There were some other DBs there that I think were better than Andrew Phillips. But my question is, do you think that that was a Joe Shane move or the new defensive coordinator?
Well,
Because
you just be. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish, Lou. Finish what you're saying.
if
I'm
they
sorry.
picked the DB based on who the new defensive coordinator was and what he wanted, then
Mm-hmm.
can that pick really be attributed to Joe Shane as far as the Andrew Phillips pick?
Well, it's still going to fall on Joe Shane.
Of
He's the one
course,
that
because he's
made
the
the
GM.
decision.
But I mean,
So, but
does
here's the
that
thing.
say more about our defensive coordinator right now than it does about Joe Shane?
Well, it's not the defense coordinator to me. It's the scheme. Does said player who was better, who everyone says is better, fit the system? Because you could have a defensive back, a cornerback who's an elite cover press man press cover, but he's crap in zone. He's crap in zone. then doesn't that take away from what your defensive coordinator who wants to use multiple different looks? Doesn't that take away from what he can do? Because now you either have to make a decision of you always playing man, or this player is pretty much only going to play this coverage, and he's still going to need some type of development to be able to play in zone, because that's another thing. Sometimes you can come from a school that you played a lot of man, yeah, and that's why you got all the props, but they left you with that because you really couldn't play zone, and you were playing a lot of schools that you could get away doing that. You can't do that in the NFL. So it's how do they evaluate? What are you looking at on the film? Are these players capable? Because don't forget, when they have these meetings, they sit down and they talk football, and they get a general idea of what do these kids understand about and zone concepts. And zone concepts in college is totally different from the NFL.
Yeah.
So
Let me catch
it
up some of these comments.
go ahead.
What's up, Alex? I can't highlight him. Is Pat got the controls tonight. Big Dash says not just Neil, Isudu and McKeithen. One of those guys need to hit this year.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Dog says he hit on Thibodeau, Banks, and Wandell for me.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Dog big. But this year 3, now we got to see if that first draft really hit.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Big Dash says 4 offensive linemen drafted, 3 in the first rounds. We need them to hit.
Fair.
Listen, I've been screaming I need this O-line to produce for the longest. E-Man says took Dexter Lawrence 4 years to become an all-pro. True.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Gordon. Evening, fellas. What's going on, Mr. Gordon? Joe Long. I remember those days.
Oh, gosh. He's reminded me. Oof.
Big Blue Alex says facts Dash. He needs one of his dudes to become a Pro Bowler at least in the next few years. For real. That's a fact.
Yes. Few years.
Took Andrew Thomas 3 years to become an all-pro. Daniel Jones won his first playoff game in year 4. We drafted Banks to fit Wink. Now we got Phillips for Bowens. Just drafted better talent, not the scheme fit. I can agree with that.
Yes, I understand what he's saying, and yes, the talent. You want talent, but the fact of the matter is, can they fit the talent that the scheme that this DC is running versus Wink system? That's what I'm getting at. 2 different systems.
To be fair, E-Man, they had D-Law playing at edge in Pat Graham's scheme. Joe Long. Then Phil Simms was drafted from Morehead State. Like who? What the? Tough as nails and withstood pounding behind the shitty line. Then the Giants started drafting great. I think we need to fix the trenches and we will be straight and start hitting on these O-line players. Mondo. NYT that was. Mondo says DJ trade for Hooker, Hyatt, and Hendon already has a connection. Why not? DJ is done. Okay. That Big Dash knows, and you have and blah blah blah. And now you have Flock, who isn't fit for the zone scheme. Craig, in what world is Golden Tate and Slayton compared to CD, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup? The Bad News Bears only win in the movies. Talent always wins out. BK Godson, what up, guys? That's like Wink wanted Banks bad for his scheme. Bo and Big Dash knows.
Took Dex. Oh yeah.
Texas scheme change to hit, not 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Andre Patterson. That's what helped out Dex's career.
But it still took 4 years.
Yeah, because he wasn't in the right. They had him playing defensive end, bro, before that with fucking Joe Judge and like, come on, man. Alex, what's going on, Alex? Good to see you, brother. What up, brother?
What's up, y'all?
What's up, Alex? What's up, man?
What's up, y'all?
That's
Alex in the building.
You know
What's
what?
going
Wait a
on?
minute. Wait a minute. Strahan had 18 sacks in his first 4 years. I'm trying to remember.
I have to see.
Yeah, you're right. No, because he did. He started on the right side, and they had to switch him before he started becoming productive. He was struggling on the left side. That's
His
right.
first year, LT was still playing.
But he
Yeah,
was
he
still
came
he
in
was still on.
LT's last
He
year.
was,
Yeah.
but he was still. They brought him to play that side along next to him, or to eventually be the speed rush off that edge. And I think it was what two. He was 2 years he played there before they moved him over to the left side.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, good point. Good point about the time and the movement. I mean the position movement.
Who's
That's
your
why I say scheme and coaching is the most important part of a team because you can have some damn good players, but if your scheme doesn't fit their skill set and doesn't fit
coach
what they
sucks?
do, yeah, your coaching sucks. Guess
Look,
what? They gonna suck.
You
I've
are a
coached.
reflection of
I've
your
coached.
coach. A team is
I've
a
coached.
reflection of their coach.
I have coached some talented teams, and we didn't win the championship. And I've coached a team that, what, in the league we were in, we should have been middle tier, and we won the championship.
Well,
So
let me correct myself.
it's a
When that
combination of
team buys in, they are a reflection of
yes,
their coach.
Yeah.
yes. Go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry you had your hand
Oh,
up.
it's all right. It's all right. I was looking at a Darren's thing and what y'all were talking about. Now, obviously, this I wasn't even alive, but weren't and I don't as I said, I don't know that part of Giants history, but weren't they in a really bad stretch the first part of Strahan's career?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
it
was about to
was.
retire without ever winning one. That's why he
Yeah,
loves Eli.
Yeah.
Because
We.
I remember it was like 90, like was it Ray Hanley was the head coach?
oh
Yeah.
gosh, please don't say that name to me.
Listen,
Don't
bro,
say
you're
that
not
name
allowed
to
to say
I'm
that
thinking
shit.
maybe again with going with the whole scheme coaching thing we're talking about, maybe there was something there. As I said, I didn't watch '90s Giants football, obviously, but I'm just putting in my 2 cents.
Yeah,
We
no.
didn't get better until the late '90s when Jim Fossil
Mm-hmm.
came.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Putting
Mm-hmm.
all our chips in the middle of the table.
Facts. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a good point. Here's another good question. BK Godson, what's good? I ain't seen you in a minute. Hope all
Yo,
is well
what
with
up,
you,
man?
bro. He says, "Who's y'all breakout players this year?"
Hmm.
My breakout players this year.
I already said one of mine. Hmm.
Yeah, he already said Bellinger. Mine is gonna be Wandale Robinson. I believe he has a very good year this year. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Cordell Flott. I think Cordell Flott does pretty good in this scheme, man, because it's a very
really.
DB friendly scheme.
Malik Neighbors rookie of the year.
Yeah, he's counting on to do that, so I'm not gonna name him. And Michael McFadden. I think Michael McFadden under the tutelage of Bobby O and seeing how Bobby O goes about his business, I think McFadden gets his tackling down, and I think he turns to be a great 1-2 punch with Bobby O. And that was a 5th-round pick, people, of Joe Shane. But those are my breakout people. What do you guys think?
So you think he gonna be our Chase Blackburn, Michael McFadden?
Oh, he's gonna be way better than Chase Blackburn. But
Yeah,
Blackburn was one of those role players people don't really appreciate. Blackburn, he was teaching school, wasn't he? When he
he
came
was like a
back to
Mm-hmm.
get
part-time school teacher. Yeah,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and he came back and made that major interception in the Super Bowl over Gronk.
Wasn't Kurt Warner bagging groceries? That shit don't
Yeah,
mean nothing,
he
bro.
was. Yep,
Like,
man.
yeah. I
I
mean,
watched a movie on it. Yeah.
Groceries went to the Arena Football League and then took off from there.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, Warren Moon went to the CFL. Doug Flutie. I mean,
Oh, Warren Moon only went to the CFL because they did not want him to play quarterback. They wanted him to
yeah.
play a different position.
I
If they,
know.
if he,
I'm not
okay,
saying why. I'm just saying, but a lot of these guys that they try to count out, you know what I'm saying, still found a path to put some plays on film and made their way back to the
mm-hmm.
NFL and shut a lot of people up.
Fair.
So,
And let me say this: thank you to the over 100 people in the chat. Let's hit that like button and subscribe button for all these wonderful channels that this stream is streaming on, man. Stop being a ninja watcher. Hit that like button for us, man. It helps us out in the algorithm. Like Lou says, doesn't take any money. Doesn't take any effort to hit the like button, but it means so much to us, man. Appreciate you guys, and thank you guys for tuning in. But yo, Alex, who's your breakout players this year?
I'm gonna have to say what I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have to say one of the safeties. I feel for some reason I feel like Dane Belton hasn't really completely shined yet. I feel like last year, obviously they hit him in the secondary a little bit, but you kind of started to see in that Rams game where Pinnock was out and he had the 2 interceptions. So, he had the 2 interceptions, and I think he's got.
This is how y'all be watching the videos. Y'all won't hit the
Sorry, he's
subscribe.
imitating a ninja.
Go ahead, Alex.
Okay, Alex.
But I feel like, personally, I feel like Pinnock is more of a box safety, and you have Belton deep, but again, they'll interchange safeties. I just like Belton's nose for the football.
Yeah, he does. I mean, that Rams game when he got some burn at the playing time, he got 3 turnovers, 2 picks, and a fumble recovery. And he got a fumble recovery against the Panthers, and he had some picks in that season. Like, I just think he's one of those players that has a nose for the ball, but once again, he'll be underappreciated because he doesn't have the flash of an Ed Reed or someone like that, which is kind of ridiculous. But it is what it is. But
to add on to that, I think the scheme also probably will help him a lot more because remember at Iowa, they did play a lot more zone there too. And this gives him the even balance, and he understands zone concepts, whether it's down in the box or playing deep in the back end. He understands the angles, and I've always said it, and I'm going to continue to hammer this. And you guys can go look at and watch it yourself. Don't even take my word alone. If you come from Iowa and you play defense, you are fundamentally sound and you understand all the principles. The only thing you really have to work on is improving certain parts of your athleticism. If you have it there, it just needs to be brought out. So, but usually they're well versed and they're key role players in the NFL. And I think he's one of those guys who can, to this point, break out because of the system being in a zone man type of a concept.
Dash, I won't know that till probably September, but if I had to answer now, I'd probably say it's going to be the similar scenario to last year.
As far as you getting your credentials to go to the Giants Stadium,
going every few weeks and whatnot.
Man, that's a big accomplishment, bro. I'm proud of you too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
There's not too many people that tell you what they're gonna do and they go out there and put in the work to do it. So appreciate you, and that's why you're a member of the Big Blue Crew, man. We just don't talk; we go out there and do.
At his age, too.
Right. Did you just turn 20 or are you still 19?
No, I'm 20. I'll be 21 in August.
Okay.
Man, you can't forget he's a whippersnapper.
Right.
He is.
Damn, all my daughters are older than him. You see, my youngest is 24? Yeah, should be 25. So yeah, you definitely a whippersnapper. You closer to my granddaughter's age.
Hey, wait, is Alex the only young one? Alex and Luca? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The BBK, I mean.
Yeah, they're the youngest, as far as I know.
Man, it's by a landslide. Shoot, we old.
Speak for yourself. All right? I still look damn good.
Nobody said you ain't look good. It said your age, though, bro. Cut it out.
Right. But who are some of you guys breakout candidates, Coach?
Yeah,
Belton and Alex, you said Dane Belton and who else?
Said Dane Belton. I just think either him or Pinnock. I mean, the problem with the Belton pick is that like, I don't know. I would assume because he's a second round pick, Nubin's going to get a lot of playing time. But when he gets in, I think he's going to have a nose for a ball. But Pinnock is my other guy too.
Yeah, but whatchamacallit also plays. If I remember correctly, he also plays three. Doesn't he play 3 safeties?
Yes, sometimes he does play 3 safeties when he wants a more aggressive look.
Mm-hmm.
Like in that 3 safety look, I do believe he'll play Dane Belton in that 3 safety look.
I'm still young.
Mac 55, man.
Hey, 50 is the new 20, man. Cut it out.
Oh, man, stop that shit, Coach. You gotta stop that.
You go out there and try to play some football there.
I'm 44. That ain't the new 20. So I know 50 ain't the new 20.
Right. Go out there and get tackled. You see how young you are then, boy. I tell you.
Well, I ain't talking about playing football now. I'm just saying in general. I
Man,
mean,
I
if you're
played.
talking about playing football, then yeah, you're right. You know what? I'll still play in the trenches. Well, no, I can't no more. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. My spine is saying, Coach, you a damn lie. You a
And
damn
I
lie.
give you 2 good series at fullback
Nah,
right
bro.
now, and I'm
I can't.
done.
I can't. Nope. 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 Nope, bro. I can't. I can't remember. I use a walking device. So the hell. Now, if I can knock some knees with this stuff, yeah, you're right. Roll over some
Right.
toes and lean on some toes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, all right. If I can be dirty, yeah, you're right. That now you talk to Coach
Going for
Lane.
one play and take out 3 linemen.
Right.
There you
Thank you,
go.
coach.
Hey, I
There
told
you,
you.
there
We
you
need
go.
goons on the team too.
Yeah. I was that one. I'm not gonna lie, poking eyes. If I could get my fingers in there, being in the groins. Yeah. Stepping on toes, on hands.
Oh, man, you was the
Off of
Dominican
polyps.
suit, or
Right.
you was Ryan
Yeah,
Shazier?
yeah. And
No,
and
no,
and,
not
and I
Ryan
was.
Shazier.
Oh,
Who was it? Perfect. Perfect.
and I'll always be like, "What
Oh,
me? I didn't
Montez
do
Burfict.
anything. I didn't do anything. Not me."
Oh, I'll
Mm-mm.
tell you another dirty player. It's 2 of them. Kevin Grogan, that lineman that used to play for the 49ers,
And the
and Bill
Cowboys.
Romanowski. Those are
Oh,
some of
Mister
the
Spit in your
dirtiest cats.
face.
Man, those are
Mister
some
Spit on that.
dirtiest cats that ever played the game. Cause
That I will
man,
never do. I could never spit in another man's face. Nah, and that I respect too much. No,
right,
nah. You once you do that, yo, man, beat his ass. I don't care. Get kicked out the
man,
game. Beat his ass. And
facts.
you come. If I'm the coach and you come to the sideline and you tell me, all right, if he's on defense, all right, everybody, don't worry about blocking the rest of them. Everybody, go tackle that motherfucker. Go tackle him. Go beat his ass.
Right.
What's that movie where they where the whole staff went towards the sideline and knocked over the administrator with Sinbad and them? What was that movie?
Oh, I forgot the name of that movie. I know what you're talking about.
Is it
Necessary
Necessary
roughness.
Roughness? Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. That's the type of thing I would say. Yeah.
Jambalaya. Fumbleski. Sergeant Fumbling Wilkinson fumbles the ball.
Alex, you came in a little bit later. We started off the show. I don't know how much of a fan you are of Slayton. I don't think you are a good Slayton fan, but he came back to OTAs, and we were just talking about the Slayton versus Hyatt, far as getting reps going on this season. I just want to get your opinion on that. We get the young guns come in here and tell us how they feel about certain aspects. It's always good to have another opinion about things. How you feel about Slayton and Hyatt as far as the reps and everything? Tell them what you
So,
feel.
I think it's going to take a little while. At least I think it's going to take a little while for Hyatt to come along. But my whole point around the Slayton, Hyatt wide receiver thing is that it's obviously in a perfect world, it's a good reality, to have 4 very talented wide receivers, and then you got Robinson and those guys in the back. But you got to decide when it comes to paying Slayton, is Hyatt ready to take the next step? And if he's not, then that's a problem because you drafted him. It's not like you took him in the 7th round; you drafted him in the 3rd round, and then there's going to be other problems that conflict with that. But I think Slayton will definitely start the year being one of the. Well, I think he's going to get helped a lot by Malik Neighbors. I don't hate the guy. I think I think you brought it up in the Blue Crew chat. I think paying him like you said, $12-13 million. That's not a bad range. Obviously, you're seeing these other wide receivers get paid around the league. My problem is it's not paying him $12-13 million because obviously the Giants are going to have a lot of money. It's just where does that fit in with the wide receiver core, and you're basically the amount of investments you put in that wide receiver core and the production you're getting and who's getting the most reps and stuff like that. Because eventually it's going to be a time where you have to pay Wandale soon. Obviously, again, 3rd round pick in Jalen Hyatt, we already know what Malik Neighbors is. And then, if they're going to use Allen Robinson at all, probably not. But I'm just really interested to see how things play out with really I'm not even focused on Neighbors. I'm talking about the 3 other guys, but it's between Hyatt and Slayton. And either way, I think this is just, Giant fans being Giant fans, but again, me being interested and curious, I want to see what it looks like. It's either going to be, oh, well, you picked Hyatt in the third round and he's not looking good and your draft picks are not hitting, or it's, oh, well, you could have traded Slayton or something. They would have made something up about Slayton. But I think if there is a point where Hyatt is like really excelling by the deadline, I think maybe you do trade Slayton for a pick. And that's if the rest of the wide receiver core is doing really well. You get that pick along with the other comp picks you're going to get, and then you move forward with building the rest of your roster. If everything goes well, of course.
Yeah, that's totally logical right there. Hyatt is out playing Slayton, and I believe Slayton has value not only with the Giants but around the league. I think people think Slayton is a decent receiver around the league, and if he's happening to get, I won't even say outplayed because if Hyatt just is showing that he's progressing at a decent rate, they're going to give Hyatt those reps.
You know damn well that everything that happens wrong on the New York Giants is always placed squarely on the shoulders of Daniel Jones. So anything that Darius Slayton has done, he will be forgiven and taken to another team. But my thing is this: I agree with your assessment, Alex, but everything is gonna go well because I'm talking my shit. We're going 11-6. Malik Neighbors is gonna steal the show. DJ is gonna shut everybody the hell up, and the New York Giants is gonna bring some type of championship home, division championship, conference championship. Hey, I hope a Lombardi, but I'm screaming division championship, NFC championship. At least DJ has to do this to stick around. Now you have Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt, Wandale Robinson, Darius Slayton, who's your most familiar target, right? Out of the guys. So, you don't have your Saquon Barkley. You got Bellinger as your security blanket. Who knows if Darren Waller's going to be here? You got the young Theo Johnson. You got Tyrone Tracy Jr. as your running back. So, I mean, it's now or never, right? For DJ. So, Slayton is the guy he has the most familiarity with. So, it would be dumb on the Giants' part to just completely get rid of him, especially with DJ coming back off an injury, just starting to build a rapport with these guys.
Yeah, I do believe that Slayton will have a way better season. Be honest with you, if they actually
For trade
made
value,
him,
so goes with
yeah.
what he was saying.
Joe Long, he says I think he would be good. They need a better QB. Shout out to Sony Entertainment. He says week 2, in my opinion, is a big game. That's a huge game. This right here, man. I want to get Coach's opinion on this real quick. He says the game is all about the quarterback, and we don't have one that will be the difference. Maybe Jones will pull a Sims, but I don't think he has the heart to stand in there and take a beating. Daniel Jones has been the most beaten quarterback of his career, bro. Like that dude,
Luck status.
yeah, like that dude's taking a beating his whole career. Second, coach.
Yeah.
Why does everybody think that the Q is all about a quarterback in the game of football? Like, explain this to me. Like, when I really go into the game
to take a beating, he got what it takes to run the hell up out of it.
Right. When I think about the game of football, I think about the quarterback. Yeah, he can be the most important part of your team. He is the most important part of your team because he's like the head coach on the field. But in my opinion, he can't do anything that he can do without the pieces around him. If he doesn't have an offensive line, he's going to get killed. If he doesn't have receivers that can get open, he's not going to be able to put up the stats. But I just want to know what you think about this, and why does everybody just believe that if you have a good quarterback, it doesn't matter what's on the field, he's just going to shine?
I hate this, Pat. I hate it with a passion because football is not all about the quarterback. Now, the quarterback, you want to argue he's the most important position on the team.
Ultimate team sport.
I'll give you, I'll, I'll accept it. I don't like it because to me, you're only as good as your weakest link. I know it's coach talk, but if guys are not out there producing to help the quarterback, I mean, Tom didn't Giselle Brunches say it. He can't catch the ball also. So doesn't that speak to other guys being able to contribute? So it's not all about, and I'm only focused on the keyword all. It's not all about the quarterback only, because it's football. It to me is the ultimate team sport. It just is. You can try and shape it whatever you want. It's still you need everyone. You need an offensive line to help your defense, to give your offense get your offense in the rhythm, whether you're running the ball, whether you're passing the ball, whether you're attacking them horizontally or vertically, whatever you're trying to do, you still need the offensive line to help that defensive line to keep the offense on the field so the defense isn't going back out there quite often. Like Pat said, you need the receivers to get open and also to catch the ball. They can't always be dropping the ball, bobbling the ball, and letting the defender come and smack the ball out of their hands. You need a running back when in the running game to be able to understand how they're blocking, whether it's inside zone, duo, power, pin and pull, whatever it is. You need the running back to understand how to come off of each of their blocks and read the defense, what they're doing. So everyone collectively also needs to know what everyone ultimately is doing. Now, does the quarterback need to produce? Yes. He needs to put the ball in a place so the receivers can catch the thing so we can get yak yards after the catch. Yes, I will totally agree with that. If the quarterback is doing that, putting the ball and the receiver is falling out of his break and you get an interception, I don't put that on the quarterback because you got to work on your timing. And if the quarterback is anticipating that receiver coming out of that break, getting separation and being at a point, then that's on the receiver. But if the quarterback is not giving the receiver a catchable ball, he's not reading the defense properly. He's not reading what they're rolling their coverage post snap and putting the ball in harm's way. Then yeah, the quarterback is a detriment. But if he's doing that, if he's making the right checks and getting us in the right play, and the guys are not executing, that's still on that's on the other players. That's not on the quarterback. So, why do people go that route? What I said earlier, Pat, some of it is fantasy football. You have the casuals and you got the highlights on TV. What do they always talk about? The quarterback. They don't talk about, the big play, the big hits all the time, unless, it's causing controversy. But you don't see someone a linebacker who scraped and took the proper angle and made the right tackle and not allow the ball carrier to gain extra yardage. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about an offensive lineman who, picked up the right block unless, he missed it and then the quarterback gets killed. But when the offensive lineman is blocking right, you don't hear about them talk. You shouldn't be talking about them, but you don't hear about it either.
Did you just call them offensive linemen? That's not what you call them, coach. Let's be 100. What do you call them?
You mean I know they're sexy fatties. I mean that's what I like calling them. So I mean, come on now, but but yeah, I mean, like I said, football is a team sport. You need the defense to get the offense the ball short yardage, so that way you can get out there quickly and take that energy and go down and score. You need both sides of the ball with special teams working together, position the football in a spot where, if it comes down to that last minute, the kicker can kick the game-winning field goal. So everyone works together. So it's not all about the quarterback for me. You want to call me old school? Go ahead. You want to call me outdated? Go ahead. But I think I'm a damn good coach.
Some love, Hall of Fame, and NFL. Y'all be doing the kickers crazy. The kickers be winning y'all games at the last second with field goals, and y'all be making these motherfuckers wait 90 years to get in the Hall.
Yeah, there's not too many kickers in the Hall of Fame, period.
Not too many returners also.
Right. And Devin Hester should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer just off return alone.
Facts.
I hope I answer your question, Pat, and anybody else wants to jump in, go ahead.
Tudo with the $4.99 super chat for Big Lou. He says salute and respects. Del Baruca. Lil
My Little
Bond.
Bronx, Little Salem, Big Blue Crew, and fam. Greetings from me and my fam in Princeton, Jersey, to everyone in the building. You heard?
Always good to see you, Tudo. But yeah, that's the way I look at it. But it's like people just believe that Patrick Mahomes is just out there waving a magic wand and doing it all by himself. It's crazy, man. If you actually play the game of football, you will know. Yeah, the quarterback's the most important position, but if we don't do our job, he's going to look terrible.
Yep.
If we're not blocking, if we're not running the right assignments, if we're not good enough to get separation in our routes, or we can't catch the ball, I keep trying to tell you, I don't matter how much anticipation a quarterback throws, if that receiver drops it, is incomplete. That's the end of the play.
There's no other argument. Hey, I put it right in your hands, and you dropped it. Oh no, it's Daniel Jones' fault. Wait a minute.
Right.
Let me show.
But Alex, what do you think about this? Because
your
Miz, what's going on? What's going on, Miz? What do you think about the whole quarterback is king? Quarterback, everything revolves around the quarterback. Like nobody's ever won a Super Bowl without a top-rated quarterback. Like I don't get it, but let's let one of the young guns speak.
So I believe in this day and age, they have definitely, in this day and age of football, I think definitely quarterback is king, but there definitely needs to be a supporting cast, receivers, this, that, and the third, coaching scheme, game plans, and stuff like that. I do understand Joe's point. I'm actually in pretty much in line with Dash's thinking. I saw his comment earlier. He says, Jones pretty much needs to show him, and I'm kind of on that wagon as well. Like I'm not going to root against the guy. I think Jones is the best quarterback on this team. Was I absolutely happy with the Giants draft decision in some ways? No, but I'm going to stick by it because I'm a fan and I'm looking at this from not a blue lens, not a red lens, but just like my straight up.
Told everybody we was getting Malik Neighbors months before the draft. I'm just saying,
I remember y'all saying it, but
we kept saying it. Guys, what's going on? Go ahead, Alex, and I'll be right back, fellas.
But that's pretty much my point. Is like I get both sides of it. I mean, I do understand that the early 2000s and all that sort of stuff, it was built on you didn't have to have an elite quarterback to win a Super Bowl and this, that, and the other thing. The Brad Johnsons of the world, the Trent Dilfers, Joe Flacco's, those teams were built on defenses more likely, but last few years it's been offense. And I personally think that the Giants, this is just my opinion, haven't really been up with the times in the last few years. I still think they're very much behind in the football process, but they're ahead compared to years past. But at the end of the day, I think quarterback it's not the end all be all, but it's definitely king of
today's
definitely
game.
Today's game. And obviously again, I don't know how much you can get out of Daniel Jones with this core and the O line, which actually I want to bring up to y'all in a sec, but I just don't know like what the ceiling for this team is actually going to be. But obviously
a championship, baby. I'm trying to tell you, 11-6, talking about shit with Jeffy's pick. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jeffy was an
Alex,
believer. Okay, so. Don't play with me.
Alex, I get what you're saying when you say the quarterback is king. And see, I don't want people to think I'm saying that I'm crapping on the quarterback. I just think we always put too much, we always give the quarterback too much credit and we always give the quarterback too much blame. I'm of that mindset. I'm sorry. You can't take me off of that. You just do. And that's the problem in itself for me. Is the quarterback king when he's out there on that field? Yes, he is. He better be. That quarterback better be the king out there. He and if he's not, then we have a problem. Yes, I'm with everyone there.
He is the coach on the field. He yells at the linemen. He yells at the wide receivers. He yells at the tight. He's the coach on the field. He's the field
He'll be a
general.
leader. He's the face.
Yeah.
Yes, that part I agree with. But to make it seem like, the quarterback is going to elevate the whole team's play, you know what? They all help elevate each other's play. They
Yeah.
really do. You need elite offensive line. I mean, we talk about you need an elite offensive tackle. Well, the quarterback can't always be out there running every play. He still needs some time to sit in the pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, does he need to be able to step up and maneuver on those situations? Yes. I'm not talking about the Dan Marinos and the quarterback I love Phil Simms. I love Phil Simms, but today's game, hell no, he's not going to work because the man can't move. He can't. And no matter, someone talked about it, the rules are skewed towards the quarterback. Yes. I've always argued, man, you might as well just put pillows out there around the quarterback because that's what it seems like. But in the same token, the quarterback still has to be able to move within the pocket, manipulate the pocket, have a nice feel. That's where your pre-snap will understand what's going on, trying to see, how a DB is aligned. Sometimes just a simple alignment tells you what a defense is going to do. Smart quarterbacks pick up on that. So yes, quarterbacks need to be the king out there, but they're not the end all be all. And that's my problem, where everyone makes it seem like they are the end all be all. Without them, you can't win. You can't do anything. And that's where I'm just like, to say you can't win at all, I just have a hard time. I just do. I do. Sorry.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I think there's definitely a lot of variables that go into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mom Perry brought up Jared Goff. Now, I would argue personally, this is just my opinion, that they got to the NFC Championship game in a very weak NFC, but nonetheless, it's not like they got their ass kicked by the 49ers. They were very competitive in that game. Jared Goff, I don't think he's an elite quarterback. I think he's a very good quarterback, probably top 10, definitely within top 15. But he has a very good he's got a very good supporting cast, and I think he's got one of the best offensive coordinators in all football. Which Khalif Raymond, who was with us a couple of years ago, is a bum returner. He's one of their top wide receivers now. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, all these different guys. But I think one of the things, Coach, that gets lost in these last two Super Bowls we've seen with they won last year, obviously, and then they won in 2019. I'm missing one within that realm, but nonetheless, Patrick Mahomes, right? Obviously, 2019 he had Tyreek Hill and all these other different guys. And then you look at this year, he had basically no one, maybe McCole Hardman, Valdez-Scantling, Rashee Rice, et cetera, et cetera. But I think one of the big things that gets lost, and again, like you can have an elite quarterback and this, that, and the third, but I think one of the biggest things that gets lost is how Spags' defense played. Because I think there was an ascension in 2019 after obviously he got hired. From like week 9 on, they were one of the best defenses in football. They shut down Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl. So that's where you could obviously cut into the argument and say, okay, the quarterback is not the end-all, be-all. But I definitely do think you need a top quarterback in this league to succeed. And, of course, what kind of stands out between the Chiefs and a team like the Buffalo Bills is I don't think the Bills' defense comes to play in the playoffs. And I think Josh Allen does commit a lot of – you could say, oh, he only had this many interceptions, but it's when those interceptions happen.
Exactly. But going back to your point, you were just talking a great point between Buffalo and Kansas City. Kansas City's defense stepped up. Point what I was making is it's a team sport. The defense stepped up to help contribute. That's why they won the Super Bowl. So now that enhances and helps elevate Mahomes to another levels and allows him to do the other things that he does that is special out there. So, and that's what I'm getting at, where I say, and I've had arguments where, people try to make it seem like it's all about the quarterback and without the quarterback, you can't win. I'm saying to myself, that's not true. You still need receivers to catch the ball. You still need the offensive line to block. You still need the defense to go out there and shut at those critical moments to stop the other team. So it's like you said, there's a lot of variables inclusive in this, and it's not the quarterback is the end all be all. It's all about the quarterback. Media will make it that. Fantasy football, I get all that. But as a coach watching the game, sitting here looking at it, we're crying about, some fans are crying about Evan Neal, right? But then if you had an elite quarterback, is that still going to help an elite quarterback if Evan Neal is not producing, or any of your offensive linemen? And some of you guys have heard me say it. It's not even sometimes about the edge. It's those guys straight up the middle on the quarterback.
Mhm.
Because if the easiest way to the quarterback is right in his face. And when the Giants won those Super Bowls with the almighty Tom Brady, what were we doing? Pushing the pocket right into his face, or forcing him to move towards the edge rusher. So it's a little bit more than just the quarterback. So, but go ahead.
Just to elaborate on that a little bit, Coach, or what you're saying, because a lot of people, it stressed me out when a lot of people are attacking you when you were saying things as such. What's going on, goofball? Thank you for tuning in. Hope all is well with you, bro. When you get quarterback straight, when you get pressure straight in the quarterback's face, people don't understand that screws up the whole scheme of things. Because when you're getting pressure right in front of your face, first of all, the quarterback that throws off is what do you call that? His progressions. It throws off the play. And when he has to run to a certain side of the field, that cuts off one half of the field. Now, there's a couple of quarterbacks that it really doesn't matter sometimes with Patrick Mahomes and people like Lamar Jackson at times and Josh Allen. They can throw across their body. But you still have to have a receiver that knows how to get to a spot to be like, hey, throw it to me when it's off script. It's not just the quarterback making it happen. The receiver has to get in the spot for him to throw it to him as well. Oh, okay, I was gonna say, man, we got 15 Tajes. But getting quarterback straight in his face, the greatest quarterback of all time lost to us twice because we were getting pressure straight in his grill. You had an all-time offense that year when he had Randy Moss and those boys. They were putting up 40 points a game at one point during the season. But against us in the Super Bowl, they only put up 14. You want to know why? Because we was kicking his ass as far as Justin Tuck getting pressure. Who was there that year? Was it Jay Alford and Barry Cofield? Or was it Linval Joseph?
Which year
I think
was that?
Linval Joseph was the second Super Bowl.
07. I think it was
Robbins,
Joseph was
Cofield.
2011.
Yeah.
So it was Barry Cofield, Justin Tuck, and I think Jay Alford.
Yeah.
So I don't
last sack on Brady.
Yeah, because I don't think people really understand the actual game. It's all about who's in the media, who's liked in the media, who's putting up fantasy points, who does the media love, and if they love that quarterback, oh, he's the greatest. You know what I'm saying? But you're not looking at the whole scheme of things, the whole team. And I keep trying to explain to people, to me, it's always going to be the head coach's scheme and culture built for the team. That's the first and foremost, I believe, is the most important to a football team. And the second, it's got to be the offensive line to me, bro. I don't care what nobody says. And then it could be the quarterback. Because if your offensive line is garbage, your quarterback ain't going to do too much unless you have Joe Burrow situation where he had 3 receivers that could get open immediately. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't have that, man, your quarterback ain't going to be able to do what he needs to do. And a lot of people disagree with that. A lot of people, I don't know, man. I know I play football.
Here's the thing, Pat, because you said something earlier. Because you said unless you have a quarterback and a receiver who are working in tandem, and the quarterback moving when he's getting pressure in his face, and the receiver knowing to get to a certain spot. But see, schematically, if I know that's, for example, if we're in a 2x2, all right, and your number one receiver is in the slot to the quarterback's left, and I'm trying to get pressure on the quarterback's face, I might even buzz something underneath that slot guy to take him away quickly because
Mm-hmm.
the defenses know that. So now he's going to have to roll to his right because pressure is coming in his face. He can't buzz. You got something buzzing underneath, even if it's a defensive end or you're rolling the safety down, a linebacker, whatever. So, and the pressure's coming. Now he has to move, and he's going to roll to his right because he's more comfortable. He's a right-handed quarterback. That takes away that number one receiver. So again, defenses know that it's a whole lot more to it,
Yeah.
and I get it. I get what fans say and how they look at it, and with today's technology, the all 22s, you're looking at everything. But like Pat always alludes to, you got to look at the totality of everything. You really do. I always stress, and anybody who knows me, I will always say this over and over again more than anything, if you understand down and distance and you know what
Facts.
a team is doing, because coaches, we have in certain down and distance and where they are on the field, we all have tendencies, no matter what. We teach if we're at the negative 25 and it's 38 and it's in the second quarter and it's 8 minutes on the clock, there's probably going to be two, maybe three plays that we're going to run, especially if it's out of certain personnel. And you
Yeah.
don't think these other coaches pick that up? But the average fan, because we don't sit down and watch film, a lot of film to pick up on those tendencies, you don't understand that. Like when I watch the game, I'm looking at the down and distance, I'm looking at the personnel, what's the formation, because then come later in the game, I'm trying to figure out what they're doing. And I'm a fan watching on TV or in the stands. I don't have weeks or years of understanding what these other coaches are doing. I'm just picking it up on the fly, and I usually go by down and distance first, and that's usually the biggest indicator that helps you out more than as a fan. That will help you out more than you realize. Go ahead, Pat.
So
You got it.
picture this, coach. Let's talk some football real quick. So we all know, well, the people that really get into it, we all know that head coaches have certain plays for certain downs and distance.
Mm-hmm.
If we need to pick up 8 yards, we got about 10 plays. We are probably not even 10 because there's so many plays going on in a play. But let's just say they have 5 plays for each area. Like 3rd and 8, we got 5 plays for that. Third and 5 to 8, and then you have plays from 3rd and 10 and to
Mm-hmm.
15 yards. You got about 5 to 6 plays there, and you got 5 to 6 plays from 3rd and 1 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Other coaches study film on that too, and
Mm-hmm.
good coaches can pick up on your tendencies. So imagine you're a quarterback and you have an offensive line that allows 4 rushers to get in like a blitz, and you got 7 men in coverage. That means I could run zone all day and cover every area that we know where your tendencies are. And there's guys just staring at you, waiting for you to throw the ball quick because they know you have to get the ball out quick. That's why we're running zone a whole bunch, because we know, hey, I can keep eyes on Daniel Jones. So if he scrambles out, I can have my fastest guy spy him, and I can have 6 guys in the cover 2 or a cover 3 if you're in the long 3rd and long situation, or a cover 2 if you have a
That's what makes
situation.
Spagnuolo's defense so effective, because his defense is based on creating his pressure with the front four and using the remaining guys in coverage.
That's a fact. Chris Jones out there getting through 3 people to get to the quarterback, straight in the quarterback's face. And that's what makes other guys like Snead become monsters, because they don't have to cover for that long. You see what I'm saying? So it's a chess game. That's why I put football to
Mm-hmm.
chess, bro. There's
Mm-hmm.
no other thing that you can compare it to that makes any sense to me besides chess. Because if I know I could get pressure with 3 or 4 down defensive linemen, and you still only got 2 point something seconds, and I can run a cover, I can run a robber now, because I know that you like to go in the middle of the field to your tight end during these situations, and I got somebody waiting right there. And if he gets there, you throw that ball. Guess what time it is? If he has any hands, that's a pick. Or you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna hold the ball and have to scramble all the way to one side of the field. If you can get away from the defensive lineman, And then now your whole play is ruined because you can't go through your progressions the way you want to. And now everybody's running like a free-for-all. And if you don't have the receivers that are very good when it comes to scramble drill, guess what? You're going to struggle. If you don't have receivers that can get off the press, Jalen Hyatt, he's shown that he cannot get off the press right now. It's going to be hard for you to get yardage if I could get pressure on you like a blitz with 4 down linemen. I don't have to send linebackers to get to your quarterback because your Evan Neal can't block that well. Bredesen can't block that well. John Michael Smith is a rookie. Andrew Thomas was hurt. So you got a Zudu out there getting abused. You know how hard that is for a quarterback, especially if you don't have the receivers out there that can get quick separation, like a Jamar Chase or a T. Higgins or Justin Jefferson or somebody like that. Now that we have Malik Neighbors, not saying he's going to be at that level his rookie year, but he's going to be way better than what we had before. So maybe if we do struggle with the offensive line a little bit this year, we could get the ball to Malik Neighbors. And guess what? When you have receivers like that, sometimes they have to back out and use a different defensive game plan to accommodate for them. And that lets other people get open, like a Taj Boyd over there with the Bengals, or what's the little white dude's name that be getting open sometimes over there when Higgins and them are covered. You can have a good tight end.
Taylor or Charlie Jones?
Both of them. And Charlie Jones was from Purdue, and I liked him out of Purdue. You can have a good tight end that can maneuver in the middle of the field. So it's the game of football is so complex, bro, and that's what drives me crazy when people just say, "Oh, you got a good quarterback, you gonna have a great team." No, you gotta have a great team. It's not just one player, bro. There's only one player that I've ever seen that really, really didn't have a whole lot around him, but he was still a dog. But they didn't even get close to they got to an NFC Championship once, and that was Michael Vick in Atlanta, because he was so dynamic as far as getting away from people and running. He was like one of the first quarterbacks that was running a 4.2.
Mm-hmm.
And even he didn't get to the mountaintop because it's just too much. All he had was Algie Crumpler. So it's a whole ordeal, man. But I don't know, man. It's just I just don't like fans that talk in absolutes and really don't study the game. Like, be a fan. You can be a fan and talk, but don't talk in absolutes like you really know what you're talking about and try to make yourself seem like you just way bigger than you are when you're just a casual fan. And there's nothing bad about being a casual fan. You're just looking at the team and want your team to win. But don't talk like you better than Coach Ed Gladney that's coached on every level except for the NFL. You see what I'm saying? You talking to him like he don't know what he talking about. You know what you talking about. Oh, it's the quarterback. No, sir. You gotta look at the whole scheme of things. What's going on, man? Super Bowl bust for us. Hey, it's almost like that for Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones doesn't repeat what he did in 2022 and look better doing it, it's a wrap for him. No matter the offensive line they're blocking. Huh?
I was saying I think he needs to put up more than 15 if he got Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he doesn't do what he did in 2002 and look better doing it, he's gone. That's point blank. And even if everybody gets hurt this year.
Championship and the conference championship, what the fuck I need, or get him the fuck out of here at this point. Listen, I have been saying 11-6 for 3 seasons now. This is the 3rd season. I need some 11-6 action and some championship, division championship, or NFC championship. At least, I'm telling you, I've had it. Slept on.
Yeah, I mean, we have to be better in our division. I don't want to lose to the Cowboys twice. I don't want to lose to the Eagles twice. I'm not counting Washington because we always beat Washington twice, no matter how bad we are. But let's see if we can be competitive against the Cowboys and beat up on the Eagles or something. I don't know. But you're absolutely right, Alex. He's going to have to look better than he did in 2022 in order to be on this team.
Well, I'll say a few things. One, by the way, we're going to have to get to 11-6 soon, or else Lou's going to be mad before they switch that 18th game.
Yeah.
it's going to be 11-7 or 12-6.
Yeah.
You have to change it up. Have to change it up. But no, I mean, I definitely. It always starts inside your own division, and I personally think that and I know obviously we always have the Commanders as a punchline, but I think they're going to be better this year. At least we face them week 2, which is pretty good for us because I think that's going to be a grit and grind game. And if Jaden Daniels is the quarterback, as we all suspect, I think the defense is going to rain a little bit, terror on him. Plus the fact that Bobby Johnson's the offensive line coach over there. But week 7, I think they're going to be a little bit better. I think we could probably snatch that week 7 Eagles game. But I think the Cowboys, both of those games not being in favor for us, both technically prime time. That's another thing that Daniel Jones is going to have to do, which he hasn't pretty much done his entire career, is beat out the prime time curse, because you're going to need it at some point. And now, obviously, there's some wins you could get outside of prime time this year, but the Cowboys in week 4. I don't think the Cowboys are a great team. But you need to start, inside your own division and start winning legitimate football games.
Yeah, you got to. I said this years ago. You have to build your team to beat your division first. Because if you can beat your division every year, that's almost a guaranteed playoff spot. Facts. And our division is usually in the thick of things when it comes to the playoffs towards the end of the year. NFC Championship, divisional round at least. So if we can build a team to beat our division, I think we've built a team that can compete with anyone. If we can dominate the Eagles, if we can dominate the Cowboys and continue to dominate the Commanders, we have a chance every year. But the past years, we've always gotten dominated in our division. It's like 2-4, 3-3 at best. Let's get some time. Let's get some years where we got a 4-2 division record or a 5-1 division record. Because if we're doing that against our own division, everybody else, man, it's like a cakewalk.
Yeah, I mean, especially in a year, not just you have to win, but you face arguably one of the toughest divisions in the AFC North. I think the Steelers are the toughest. The Ravens are next to them. The Bengals, you could probably finagle with the Browns, but the fact that it's going to be earlier in the year and you're going to be in Cleveland, it does scare me. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, that defense over there in Cleveland, I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Freaking, what's his name? The edge.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah, Myles Garrett against Evan Neal. That scares the shit out of me right now.
I don't even care about Deshaun Watson like that. But that defense,
man, that defense over there in Cleveland is something serious, bro. And they're only getting better and younger. That's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah.
So Myles Garrett, I can live with Andrew Thomas going against Myles Garrett, but Evan Neal right now against Myles Garrett, man, that worries the hell out of me.
That's kind of where you worry a little bit about, like, okay, where are we going to put Evan Neal? And I know y'all were talking about this on a NYG show a couple of days ago, and I'd like to get your thoughts on the O-line. And I get it; it's only mini camps, it's only OTAs and stuff like that, so we don't know what the actual alignment's going to be. Because I know he's of the opinion of kick Neal inside the guard. I'll ask you guys your opinion in a second, but that's what game where you worry, 2 points to quickly make, is like, him going up against Myles Garrett. Would it be better just to obviously foresee the matchup and push him inside the guard, or would you just say, okay, he's 7th overall pick from 2 years ago, let's take the challenge and, see what happens? But there are going to be games where Neal kind of has to step up to the plate.
Yeah, I think you have to play Evan Neal at right tackle for at least the first 4 games, because you brought him here to be a pillar not right next to Andrew Thomas, but to be a pillar at the tackles. And I believe that's worth a look, because if he does turn out to be a very good tackle and Andrew Thomas continues on his level of play, that solidifies the edge of your offensive line. And if this inside of the offensive line is playing better, like John Michael Schmitz, Runyon, and light-skinned Jermaine, if we have a solid offensive line, I truly believe that this offense will look totally different than it has the past couple of years.
Drew said put Evan Neal at McDonald's flipping burgers. Damn it, man.
He said he's a turnstile, not a pillar. I mean, but you have to see that, because if that comes to fruition, man, that really solves your offensive line issues. Like, I hate that this pick might be a miss, but it's not set in stone yet. You still don't know what he really is. He's only played 20 games in the past 3 years because of injuries.
Yeah.
And I believe the offensive line coach wasn't doing him a favor either. But let's see, man. I hope that he turns out to be way better than I think that he would turn out to be. First things first, man. He has to lose some weight. Just because he's too top heavy, and maybe that scheme, like Coach pointed out, that was an aggressive scheme by OG Bobby Johnson, and his weight, even being so top heavy, really didn't allow him to be the athlete that he is. So hopefully he learns that third kick step, to trust that step, stop leaning forward. You're super athletic, you have long arms, and if you get your hands on somebody, they're not going anywhere. So trust yourself and just get that weight moving, man. Just get the weight moving. If you have to go down to 325 or 320, do it. I mean,
with that big
yeah.
weight moving, you create momentum. It's hard to stop that shit once it's in motion.
Right, and you're leaning forward. That was 370 some pounds moving forward. I don't care what nobody say. That dude was not 350 last year. He was not. I say 370 at the very least.
Yeah. Now, what do y'all think? Because I think Joe Shane or Brian Dable said this. I'm pretty sure it was Brian Dable, and a lot of fans are like, are very interested in this. What do you think of them actually just like legitimately viewing Josh Azudu as only not to say he's only a tackle, but that's where they're placing him right now?
I think they believe he has quick feet, which he does. I mean, I don't know, man. Azudu and McKeithen, man, they might be a wash. I don't know. Because
I'm on the same line of
Carolina
thinking.
guards? Oh yeah, they been
yeah,
duds.
because they signed too many linemen, man. They signed like 2 guards, a swing tackle. Like, man. I mean, if the 2 guards after signing the I'm just talking about not Runyon and light skinned Jermaine. They signed 2 more guards after that.
Slowdman,
Stinney,
Finney, yeah,
and a center, right?
Yeah, Schlodman was the center they signed. You never know, one of those undrafted free. Not that it's a popping undrafted free agent class, but one of those guys could possibly make it. I mean, we haven't really had any good undrafted free agent classes in a while, probably since.
Hey, Dash. Hey, Dash. You know there's a thing called Photoshop, right? You're talking about that pic without the pads. He looked in phenomenal shape. Yeah, he was heavy.
I'm gonna say this because I'm a big guy myself, and I'm about 350. And when I was coaching, I had a kid who was 6'8", 380 pounds, and when I stood next to him, he looked like he was skinny. And you could tell I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2", 350. And I'm getting, just because he doesn't look it doesn't mean he isn't it. So, until in the football world, they do offensive linemen. They fudge your weights, whether you're lighter and they try to make you seem bigger, or you're bigger and they make you seem lighter, because they don't want the other teams to really get an idea of what you are and say, okay, this is why, XYZ. It's because of their weight issues.
Yeah, no, definitely, and it's also even just in general, like this the way of life it's about how you stretch yourself out. Because if you look wide, obviously people are going to say you're fat, but if you're tall, you're like 6'3", 6'4", and you're like 300 something, people are going to be like, oh, I don't know, I didn't really believe you that way. But yeah, it's about stretching yourself out. As for 2 giant goofballs, what Drew is saying, I could see his line of thinking there, but I'm not defending Joe Shane at all, but at this point, he's kind of he kind of has to do what a lot of GMs do, and that's going out there and trying to justify that Evan Neal is still worth it. And it's like that was his second biggest investment in that. Well, obviously, second biggest investment in that draft, but but again, it goes so along the line when I was talking with Dash before, is that his picks really haven't been superb. Like he's found some late round guys that have worked out well, none that have really sprouted though. You can count your McFadden's and maybe Dane Belton and Bellinger, but it's a mix and match there as well. The other point I was going to get to is the problem. It's not just them being bad, but McKeithen and Azudu have missed more games than they have played, and they're supposed to be swing tackles, so they're supposed to be available.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to grade Joe Shane's drafts, you gotta think like the best draft guy that's probably known as Ozzie Newsome. He's drafted a lot of Hall of Famers. He's only hit on about 40 to 50% of his draft people. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So if your GM is hitting on 35 to 40%, I think that's a very good drafting GM. You're not going to hit on 99% of your picks. That's another thing about fans that kills me. Oh, he's only hit 10 picks out of 30. Well, God dog. How many picks you think every other GM is hitting? Like I don't get it. Like people act like this is Madden, bro. You're not gonna hit on every pick. Every player.
He said, "Well, God dog."
Yeah, I mean, it depends what they turn out to be and what you classify as a hit, because it could be like a star player, it could be a guy that's drafted in the 5th round like McFadden. And you know what? I'll say this: I'm not trying to like defend our arch rivals, but I think Howie Roseman gets a lot of shit that he's not necessarily due for, because we could talk about his free agent signings and backing up contracts up the wazoo, but they've had a solid foundation in the most important parts of their roster for a while now.
Yeah.
Like when Bradbury goes,
Kenny put a lot of that team together, then Doug Peterson added some more to it, and then so they had a pretty
I think Howie Roseman's done a heck of a job.
Yeah.
Finish, Alex.
The coach and whatever's the it factor. I don't know what the problem is there in Philly, but I mean they got their wide receivers extended. They probably have somebody in house who's going to play one of the interior offensive line positions. You drafted 2 corners, one guy that can move to safety in the 2nd round. So I just think when I'm talking about the Giants being behind the ball, I was talking about this, I think you weren't when you were away, Pat, but I think it was the whole conversation of, the quarterback and, whether it's catered to this, that, and the other thing in terms of today's game. I was mentioning the Giants are behind the ball. That's where I think the Giants are behind the ball, to where, you could talk about these free agent signings that the Giants have made, this, that, and the third. But I look at the Eagles as an organization that has sustained success, where the Giants, they have a little bit of a ceiling, a little bit of a window, and they really haven't even won properly yet. If you think about it, they've had 2 winning seasons in the past 10 years. And that is not sustainable by any stretch of imagination. But I want to go back to that again with, drafting offensive linemen, filling up that back end, drafting defensive linemen, filling up that back end. And I think also, just to, add a little bit of a spice to the conversation as well, I think it's going to be really interesting, 2 positions to see how they work out on the defense this year. That's whoever is going to replace Leonard Williams alongside Dexter Lawrence, whether that's Riley or Davidson, and the corner position. Because I think that's where that could be an X factor as far as the defense goes, where it's going to be either elite or we're not stopping the run.
He don't play for us no more.
Said who's going to replace him as far as the production that Leonard Williams was giving us?
Because I mean, we saw a little bit from Jordan Riley. A'Shawn Robinson ain't here no more. Nacho's Jordan Phillips, I mean, he's So you're gonna have to have somebody step up.
Well, you actually have 2 young guys, but you're right. They have to step up, and DJ Davison and Riley. So, they need. I mean, they show that they have a little bit of something, but it's still about their development. because Davidson is going into year 3 and Riley's going into year 2. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people think, based on production, that Riley's better than Davidson.
mhm.
Riley was a 7th round pick, but again, it's gonna be very, very interesting to see how that kind of
Didn't Davidson get hurt? So
He got his
Yeah,
ACL
yeah.
torn in his first year.
Mhm.
So
And then last year, didn't he get hurt again?
I think he
No.
just saw a lower percentage of snaps.
Yeah.
Actually, he played 15 games and he
Mhm.
played. Let me see. Game logs. No. Let's see his snap percentage.
Oh well, yeah. Snap percentage gonna go down because we had Robinson and Nacho. That's right.
Robinson, Nacho, and Riley,
Leo.
and Riley
Leo.
too.
Yep.
Yeah, snap percentage. The highest amount of snaps he played was in that New England game, which I believe Ashawn was injured, and I think Dex was like
Mhm.
still. He was still dealing with whatever injury he was dealing with, but
I gotta
yeah.
go. It's
Yeah, I'm ready to wrap this up, man. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, man, to the True Big Blue podcast / New York Giants full access. Man, chilling with rest in peace, Jeffy T, man. Miss my brother, man. Miss hearing them laugh. His laugh was infectious, man.
Just go to my Twitter page. It's a tribute that I reposted. In case you just want to see and hear his voice. It's Mitch did a good job putting it together. So some good funny stuff on there. So if you just want to hear him and see his picture, here you go.
Yeah. I'd like to thank for the consistent 100 in the chat tonight. Hopefully you guys hit that like button and that subscribe button for us tonight. Not be a ninja watcher. You don't want to look how Lou was looking earlier, man. Watching like a ninja. It's not good, man. Shout out to Alex. Hopefully we get to see some more videos of Alex asking our Giants players some questions throughout the season. Man, great job, man. Proud of you, Alex, man. Keep going. I already know what you're going to do, man. We in the building. Big Blue Crew. And go to Coach Gladney's Wonderful World of Sports.
Amazing world, not wonderful world.
Amazing world of sports. And I'm tired, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got you.
He said a wonderful world of sports.
We definitely gonna get some of those film reviews out there for you, especially throughout the season. I plan on giving you guys film reviews of the offense, the offensive line, the receivers, DBs, linemen. We're gonna get all that out there for you, man. So be looking for that on the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. Do you guys have anything else before we get out of here?
No, covered everything, man. We good.
Well, I ain't did this in a long time.
See y'all tomorrow, Big Blue Lounge on G Nation Inside Sports.
Yep. And until then, welcome to the Gulag.
Looks like we got another one! On the ground! This is the Gulag. In here, you fight to win back your life. Gates!